y'all doing? It's Factual Actual. We're here to talk about a few things that is on these three men's minds. We might have another guest joining us today. Fellas, there's a lot of things that's going on in this world, and there's a lot of things we can talk about that's progressive that we can help the people. So, what we got today?
Uh, I like good. I mean, if we can have a whole one without the bad,
Right.
that would be great. But I don't know what distant utopia we would be living in to talk about this world and not have some bad to say. But I feel like as long as we put some good on top of it, you know what I'm saying, and show the
Right.
better way that what I'm saying bad. But here's the plan, or this is what we can do to make it better. I think it's worth giving it a shot. So you can pick just about anything, whatever's on y'all mind. You know what I'm saying. I'm game to run it. You know.
So, truth be told, I like to go to that NFL thing you wanted to talk about because like I said, I like the game. The game was fucking phenomenal, but it's like y'all gonna let that ride, and speak your
So
mind because I got some more information on that.
okay, so when okay, so in clear, we're talking about the Tampa Bay Dallas game that
Mm,
played Thursday, the season opener. You know what I'm saying? Ready to
mm,
rock, ready for football. And for a few years now, I've been seeing some very questionable calls by the officiating, and it's got to the point where I'm like, I'm more Dick Gregory with it. It's all a game. You know what I'm saying? Literally, this is not real. This is a part of the illusion. You know what I'm saying? When we sit here and we talk about, what I'm saying, reality ain't real. This ain't real life. This is just one of those aspects we're talking about. You looking at this like it's a competitive sport and the best man wins, but it looks like the team with the best script and the best one to produce more money wins. You know what I mean? Or the
mm.
hot story wins. So with that being said, based off that Thursday game, that's just one way we can bring this into it. If there was a true competition and they was competing and it was who would be the best man wins as the reality we think it is, then the penalties would have been called and we'd have had a different outcome. But since we see that the referee was there and it was blatant, you know, I don't want to beat the dead horse of that shit that happened to New Orleans. I don't want to, bring up fucking deflate gate and all this, but it happens time and time again. And it's being done and there's no punishment for it
Yep.
because it's part of the game. It ain't real. So when you out there rooting, hollering, talking about your team, but it ain't your team. That's the NFL. That's a corporation. That's a conglomerate. They about making paper. They might as well be the WWF if you ask me. Now, if
Definitely.
he was entertained by the game, then great. But I'm just saying, it's just you living in the fairy tale where if you think this is people out there competing on the level and made the best man win, that ain't what's happening. Made the worst officiating win, or made the shanky kicker win, or maybe the best person that's hiding they goddamn steroid use wins. So it ain't true
Profit
competition.
wins.
Made
Profit
profit,
wins.
made the best profit win. That's it. There you go. That worked. I can live with that.
So
Well,
we
So
from
could.
just kind of philosophical, because I am recently, my attention has gone into this thing called reality, and
Mm-hmm.
just philosophically, way back in 1890s, 18 whatever, they had bare knuckle boxing. Okay, I'm a
Mm-hmm.
boxing fan. Well, used to be,
yeah,
not now, but
yeah,
Of
bare.
I
course.
can
bare
understand.
so they had an official in there uh, uh, to make sure things follow the rules, which they probably didn't have a whole lot of rules in bare knuckle, but he was in there to give the sense to those watching, that it was fair.
Yeah,
You got referees in boxing now. Their job is not to enforce rules.
Oh no.
Their job is to make it entertaining. And because it's televised, because it's sold, uh, the referee is in that room to make sure it stays entertaining, though they will never admit to that. But if you watch a boxing match, you'll see, you know, that They just want to keep it interesting for the audience. That's their job. And the referees determine pretty much who wins, unless you knock somebody out. You know, the referee guides the match. Well, the reason I said that is because Dwayne brought up WWF, you know, WWE, you know, that's what the referee does in this scripted performance.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in these other performances, believe me, with all that money floating around there by all these different interests, there is a script. It's just not for the boxers in the ring. See, the referee makes sure the script goes as it should. So,
I want to interject. I just want to make sure. Don't forget the scores cards, because scores cards is everything at the end.
Well, let me say this, and then you jump on that, and that is, what you think is real is not real,
right?
And that's all.
There we go. Yeah. So I want to jump right in on that point right there. So
let Chris give his point, then you finish.
Okay. Because here's where I'm at now with this. When I think about that game, and like I said, amazing game.
That's all.
There we go. Yeah. So I want to jump right in on that point right there. So
let Chris give his point, then you finish.
Okay. Because here's where I'm at now with this. When I think about that game, and like I said, amazing game. So last year we played the Rams opening game, and close game, just like this game. And sure enough, there was a pass to Michael Gallup, and it looked like he made the catch, and the Cowboys looked like they were about to win. And then all of a sudden, my man said, "Oh, I got hit. Oh, he hold me." And offensive pass interference. So I'm like, oh, really? So this year, we blatantly see offensive pass interference, and the referee standing right there, and he sees the whole thing in the game, and he just let it pass. I mean, I could also talk about the intentional grounding when Tom Brady threw for like 30 yards, and it's like, y'all not gonna call that? That's intentional grounding. There's nobody there. But like I said, that it's like, oh well, Cowboys meant to lose the season opener again, and it's like, it is what it is. I'm like, it's the Cowboys. This is what we do.
But for years, it seems like the rules were made around Tom Brady. I mean, for years in the NFL, it seemed like Tom Brady, they made rules for Tom Brady.
Right.
You know? And he is the product of what was made by the NFL and whoever. But you know, for people, for me and you, it may be about our team winning, but everybody knows it's about the point spread. That's solely the referee's job, is to make sure the point spread is right.
Yep. Even the Tony Romo, you know, with the era we're living in right now, it's just, especially for the Cowboys. You know, you see it all the time. I know the Saints are starting to see it more often now, but it's like the Cowboys, we see it every damn year. So it seems like something always happens to the Cowboys, something weird or something that never happened before in the NFL. It's like, why? And it's like, oh, we're not meant to win another Super Bowl. Okay.
So we don't say that the scripting and the blatant calling and the point spread and the dead grind, no catch, the whole nine, the deflate gate, all this. What we're going to say is that that's the negative, right? And I want to say that the better way is that we educate people that it is a script. Go out, enjoy the game, but it's not real. You know what I mean? If we can get that across people, you just go watch. It's entertainment. Don't invest yourself where you need to go and destroy your whole city and tear down the goalposts and stuff behind it, or ride or something. Because in that reality, it's just a game. It's a script, and it's about profit. You know what I'm saying? Because what really happened to anytime this stuff happened, what really happened and how did it really matter or affect what life or what something was? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I want to say, from my point of view, if we're talking about, a better way, I'm gonna say the better way is that we educate people, let them know that, hey, go watch it. It's entertainment, but it don't mean nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's not real.
I mean, I'm
Yeah,
not saying
the Super Bowl has already been determined. So,
yeah.
but it just like watching WWE. Hell, it's scripted, but it's still entertaining.
It's
I
entertaining.
tell you right now, if you go and look on somebody's desk that matters, the Super Bowl has been determined for the next 10 years, maybe, possibly. Okay. But football is still entertaining. And I want to say this too, and where my head is at, that is back in history, whenever a desperate government wanted to do something, and they wanted to get away with something, they always threw something else up that would get everybody's attention off what they were really doing. And
the Roman circus. The Roman circus.
A lot of topics on that.
The Romans.
The Roman circus. Yeah.
So much so they built a Colosseum that's still standing today.
Yeah.
Because
so they can feed people the lions.
There you go. And they're not thinking about the things the emperor or the government period is doing. Okay. They control. I see it like this. And I have seen enough to give me this opinion. But, they did that experiment way back when with Pavlov, where he got the dog in the ringing the bell. And he elicited a response from this dog through conditioning. Every time he fed the dog, he rung the bell. Every time he fed the dog, he rung the bell. Well, I think it was several dogs, actually. He rung the bell. So after a period of time, to get them to salivate, he could ring the bell. Because all of us, if you think about it, when you get ready to eat, psychologically, we salivate because we're getting ready to eat a meal. And if you pay attention, you'll see that you do it to a degree too. Well, Pavlov was able to elicit salivation through ringing of the bell. Now, all attention left the food because it was never about the food. It was about eliciting certain responses from people. And history has given governments a way to elicit responses from us for everything they want to do. And give a country a common enemy, and everybody comes together.
Yep.
Sporting events gives individuals common enemies, and it's played out all the year long. Your team against this team. I heard Chris say just earlier, you are part of the Dallas Cowboy organization. We. Okay.
I want to say this. I want to put this in the context. When you say we, technically he is. In a sense, he is. Because the truth of the matter is, he paying taxes to Texas, right?
Yeah.
You pay taxes in Texas, right? Well, yeah. Our tax dollars built them damn stadium and help fund them motherfuckers for them to play this sport. So yeah, technically it is because your money went into your tax dollars went into that stadium too.
Yep.
Camaraderie is never about the money, son. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I get it.
If you can elicit camaraderie out of people and get their attention off what is really going on, say the Cowboys win.
Oh, shoot.
For a small period of time, you forget about being underpaid by your employer. For a period of time,
my Cowboys won.
Yeah, you go around that day.
Hold on. Let's be honest about this. If the Cowboys won, the whole United States is going to go crazy because there's Cowboys fans are all over the world, and somehow they geniusly made that work out of all these years.
Well, I know how they've done it. They bombarded the media with calling the Cowboys America's team. And they said it enough that it caught on. Yep. And there are people today that'll say it's Cowboys are America's team. If asked, say from a reporter on the street, he's going to say Cowboys is America's team, even though he's not a Cowboy. Just like they talk about all white people profit from racism, even though they're not racist themselves, some of them, So the media has put the I told you about a plutocracy. They sat around, man, and smoked cigars and drank scotch and said, what are we going to make the world do this week? How are we going to entertain ourselves with the rest of the world?
Sounds like a Simpsons episode we watched.
I was just looking at something before we clicked on, and that is, we're just going to use this as an example, but all of us can look and see so many more examples of this, and we only have an hour and a half to do this, so I'm just going to use this one. But I'm looking at how in America, the trucking industry, the drivers, though if you shut down the trucking industry, if every trucker in the world decided they weren't going to drive for the next week, the country would come to its knees. Yep. Here it is. Way back when, I remember when truckers made money. And what truckers made in the past was, in essence, if you were to use today's dollars, they would be six-figure drivers, okay?
Right.
And somebody that was a trucker, they made a lot of money. Well, that money, that same amount that they made today is the equivalent of $40,000. And they are trying to maintain, operate their rigs and all of this for roughly $40,000. That is over the last, 40 years. And now they have found ingenious ways to have trucks over the road with no drivers. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Basically, what do you call it when the car operates on its own? Anyway, that's what trucking is going to. And people can stand on corners with boards and signs saying no all they want to, but trucking is going to be done by by artificial intelligence. At some point, it's coming. You can argue, you can fight it you want, but it's coming, because the bottom line says they will make more money doing trucking this way, or transportation of goods and services this way. They've already done it with the trains, okay? If you can get that trucker who knows the loan he took out to buy his truck you know, they're going to foreclose and repossess his truck. You can get his mind off that with a football game, a golf match, a tennis game. You got him, and he's finna lose everything, and the world is finna change. Everything is finna change. I could sit here and argue about it, but you know what I'm doing? I'm over here cheering because this damn thing is going to collapse in on itself, and at some point, predators have to start eating themselves because there's not enough out there for them to eat. And what we have now is people, they're digging for gold. They're providing all these luxury things for people that are making people billions of dollars, and they are not making enough bringing this in to support their families. This system is not going to change on its own.
Yeah.
What's going to happen is all these people at the top, when they run out of everybody else to eat, they're going to start eating themselves. AI, which I sent out this video.
Yeah. That is not my, that's the message that was in my head.
This AI, people think that, you know, in just say it's that AI is going to put all the truck drivers out of their jobs. And that's what they want you to think about AI. But actually, it's going to put all the guys at the top, those middle managers and those people that don't do any work whatsoever, it's going to put them out of a job first because they're going to find artificial intelligence works better, is even of greater profit to them to knock out the middle managers, the people in the middle. Those are where the big salaries are. And AI is going to do it. And what they're doing is telling you it's going to knock the truckers out of job. It's going to knock the farmers out of job. It's going to do all that. Really, it's going to knock out those people in the middle who make the big money.
Yeah.
If a company downsizes, I'm telling you, I see it all the time. If a company, a corporation downsizes, the first people to go are those big salary people.
Our middle managers are done.
Oh, yeah.
They don't need you. They have an intellect guiding this that's better than what you can do. Now, look, we on the bottom end can complain and all of that. But our jobs are not going to go. Why? Why are our jobs not going to go? Because all empires must be maintained by slave labor.
Yep.
And for what people are making today is the equivalent of slave wages.
Agreed.
Except for the middle managers. And
ones trying to get higher.
Greed is greed. If they're going to get rid of somebody, they're going to get rid of the most expensive.
Yep. More money in my pocket. You know what I mean?
The gap is getting bigger between wealthy and poor. There are people making $50,000 a year now that are considered working poor.
Well, my question is, you say they get rid of the middleman. What about the middle class?
That's gone. Look up. Yeah. It's gone. That's gone. All the experts will tell you there is no middle class right now because the amount of money that a person needs to make to feel some affluence, they say is right at $200,000. Yeah. And if you're not making $200,000, for you, dog eat dog.
That's why the way the system is the way it is. You know, people do what they still doing what they're doing, and
you know what their solution? Their solution is this: how about them boys? Go boys!
Be happy because hey, you can't be stressed out all the time. So go watch the football game, go watch this basketball game, go watch the tennis game. You know, feel better about yourself, but don't worry about what's going on over here. Yeah. Yeah.
We got this. It'll be all right. We got this.
Help me make some money. You're not gonna make the money, but I'm gonna be good. You know. Yeah.
Corporations run the world. Now, there ain't a damn thing we can do about that, but make it as comfortable as we can as it transitions. Liquid powder helps me feel better in this world that's going into the sewer, or maybe even in the sewer now.
Going into the sewer.
Yeah,
there's a lot of things about that.
But
Hey, Bob.
At least down in the muck, I don't have to experience joint pain because I have liquid powder.
I'm with that. Y'all. So I did. Sorry, I got sidetracked for a second, but I did want to. You brought up something about this, about the AI and stuff like that, and I have one question that keeps coming into my mind, and I think it's the hard question, and it's maybe not what we want to face, but the question is that okay, so once the robots take all the jobs and stuff, you know what I'm saying? What's the next step? Because if we don't have money to give them, what are they going to do with us? So I see fucking, genocide and shit like that in my mind. I'm just being real. I mean, because we would be completely useless at that point. I mean, who's to worship? Who's to, who gives a shit about your Bugatti now? You know what I mean? When we all out of jobs, you know what I mean? So what's the next step?
That's the thing. That is the facade, son. We believe, we have been taught in this paradigm that is the reasonable, logical progression. Son, corporations cannot make money if nobody's spending money. There must be a class of people who are spending money. So I'm trying to point you, I just got this today. The people who are going to lose their jobs are the ones that they don't need to make money anymore, which is these salesmen with these inflated salaries, these advisors and these consultants who give good advice for absorbent amounts of money. All of these people, artificial intelligence is going to take away the need for intellect.
Hey, some
always be a labor force. The only thing is, can we pull ourselves up to not have slave wages? And if you wipe out all them people at the top, you have a fighting chance at getting better pay.
Look, I was just that name that brought up I know this gentleman named Rex, you know what I'm saying? He actually was featured on one of the podcasts back a little whiles back, you know what I'm saying, from Arizona, but we got to talking about going into the line and self-checkout. We were talking about self-checkout, and as opposed to going to the register where you got a human being there and waiting in the line and going through that, right? And he said, I don't care how late I'm going to be, just knowing that if I go to that self-checkout and that thing, that I'm going to possibly lose somebody a job, I still go wait in the line so that they'll always have job security. And, I never looked at it like that. But, I started going and getting in the line and just waiting and actually having them scan my damn product as opposed to going to self-checkout.
Well, that's a noble gesture. That's a noble gesture. That really is. That's very noble.
Let's keep it real.
I'm here to tell you, there are better jobs in that place that these checking people can go to in the organization and make more money. But because they need checkers, they can't send those people to those jobs. The shortage is the shortage is not down here. The shortage is just above that. Look, over here, if you work at Walmart, they start you at $20 an hour now. I mean, money has always been there. It's just now we're to a stage that we want better. We have been able to persuade the powers that be for better wages. Even if you get $30 an hour, which is a lot of companies over here are paying now for what used to be $15 an hour jobs.
Yeah.
They're paying $30 an hour for those jobs over here. And if they're paying you $30 an hour for it, it's worth $60 an hour. Believe me.